Blog Talk Radio.
Hello, Patriots. Thanks for stopping by. It's high noon, more or less, here in California. And the stuff's about to hit the fan, and so I want you to pay attention. Don't follow me on this. Just listen and share it, the info. I post a lot on Getter. I'm not over on Telegram as much, and I'm not over at Locals.com very much right now, but I will be in the future. If you're a creative person, a maker, a person who's connected with what is the skills that are needed with movie making and turning books into movies, screenplays, get over to Locals.com. Dave Rubin is with Glenn Beck Network, Blaze Network. Set that up, and he has partnered with Rumble, and Rumble is the new place to be, along with a lot of other ones like UseTube, Utah Gun Exchange, UseTube.com, and Brighteon, and Gab, BitChute, Odyssey. I mean, there's a lot of people that are movers and shakers, people that are able to spend their money on wisely, getting involved. Dennis Prager has an event that he just did, and he has another one coming up, which is reaching out to the creative talent in the Hollywood area, in particular illustrators and graphic design, that kind of stuff. But the good news is that there is light at the end of the tunnel, and we're almost there. People, don't throw the towel in. Okay, we're gonna get through this. We're gonna weather this storm. We're gonna have life preservers thrown out to the people who need it. And we're gonna get those children and those people that hurt those children are going to pay dearly for what they did. So that's the mission, people. And we're having a lot of other people that can make a difference, have lots of followers, and lots of important people that they're connected to. Get involved. And I know that, and I can explain it, but I think it's better if I don't put a pointer finger on them. All right. One of the things that I wanted to go over was that I just found out this morning. I went to bed at 4:00 last night. I was trying to get something done, and I'm just one person, and it's just so hard to keep up with everything. And then when you see that there's a problem or a typo or something didn't show, it's like you spend hours trying to figure out what went wrong, and it's just exhausting. It's not pleasant. But this morning I realized that Operation Rainbow.org has been around for like 42 years, and when I went and looked, when I was thinking about calling the event Operation Rainbow, because it's for everyone to get under the rainbow and to be blessed and to be prosperous and to be in good health and to be united as one nation as we used to be before the Marxists and the communists and the Nazis came over. Go back to your own rock you've crawled out from under. A bunch of scumbags. Ugh, don't get me started. Change in America very quickly. I mean, the country that we grew up in, people that are over 50, 45, 50, it's not the same country anymore. And, it's alarming how fast it happened. And that's because of Obama, the destroyer. Yeah, he unleashed with his scumbags he hired the ancient gods with a small g to destroy the last bastion of hope, the last shining city on the hill, America. And when we go down, it's over 1,000 years of darkness, not 1,000 years of light, 1,000 years of servitude, not 1,000 years of freedom, 1,000 years of corruption and perfidy, not 1,000 years of goodness and light and healing and growing and helping and nurturing. Okay, so pick your side, people. Either you get on board or you're going to be left behind. And I don't mean that the UFO ship is coming to take us away. I don't mean that. We're supposed to occupy like an army until the Lord comes back, and that's what they're trying to stop. They're trying to stop the Muslims and the Jews from joining forces with the Christians and the Hindus and the Buddhists and all that. Requirement is being a good person and accepting that there is a creator and that you are not in control and that we have to ask the Lord to take the helm, like Captain Kirk would say. So I'm saying, take the helm, people. Anyway, I wanted to point out that there was an interview with Kash Patel with LT of And We Know, and it's from June 20th, 22. And then I mentioned that it's called Amazing Strong Leaders for Such a Time as This, Pray. And Kash wrote a book called it's about what happened to Trump and the people who did it. And the bottom line is Kash wasn't planning on writing a book. He's a prosecutor. He's from India, and but he's grown up here, and he's up in America, and he's a patriot. Anyway, he was interviewed by LT. LT gets the best interviews. He interviewed General Flynn and Eric Trump, a bunch of other people, and that's the whole thing. I point to these people because they obviously are being blessed, and they are important people, what I call key people. So I wouldn't be spending my time doing this if I didn't think it was important. But I also know that a lot of times people aren't paying attention and they don't, listen to Dennis Prager or other patriots like Melissa of FreedomForce.live. So that's partly why I keep trying. I wanted to say before I forget, because when I get stressed out, I get forgetful. Those cardboard crates that you get at the food store when you buy bottles of wine. If you get them when you purchase your wine, put them aside, because what I'm seeing is little kids using those crates as toolboxes to put their paint supplies or their tools in when they go around. Because what I had a revelation about was that, before America, it used to be in America, you basically grew up in the same town or nearby that your parents and your grandparents and your aunts and your uncles and your cousins all lived in. And then as, automobiles got better and transportation got easier, people spread out. It used to be normal to stay in the same area your whole lives, okay? So little kids are growing up without the influence of their grandparents. And that is important because the lessons and the knowledge and the wisdom that the grandparents have needs to be passed down. And that's partly why the scumbags in education are pushing not to teach cursive writing, because they don't want the next generation to be able to read cursive writing. They don't want those kids to be able to read what the Constitution said, not what these morons in charge, you freaking evil scum. Ugh. They don't want kids to be able to read what the Constitution says or the Bill of Rights. They don't want people to be able to read old letters and hear about how things were so they can go like, what's happening now? So that's why they don't want to teach cursive writing. So anyway, it's important that you get your children to be with their grandparents and, other elders that are, have wisdom to pass on. But besides that, so that with the wine crates, they can use those boxes instead of throwing them in the garbage as little carriers. So keep those aside. And I think that there's going to be like a private school, an artist place, music and art. There is one already. It's the Green Art House, and a great guy that runs that with his partner. But that's in the Fallbrook area. And if you want to know more about that, go to LoriBella.com, and there's a picture of a artist on the homepage, and click on it, and you can either be a student or you can teach. And so I'm trying to think of ways to help people stay afloat during this tough time that we're in, because it's going to be hyperinflation, just as the Bible said there would be. We were told what's going to happen, and the people are, so passive. They're like, oh, I guess there's nothing we can do. Yes, there is a lot we can do, and that's what we're working on right now. Okay, we're having a detachment from what they built, making our own thing, and they need us. We don't need them. So they just slit their own throat, so to speak. And I don't mean that as in, literally. I mean figuratively. Anyway, they just hurt themselves beyond repair. So their history, okay, they're going to be stuck in the old matrix. We're in the new matrix, and I believe that, and you have to believe it too, because good things are coming, and they're being shown. Operation Rainbow.org. They've been doing orthopedic surgeries for a long time. You have the frontline doctors. You have the Doctors Without Borders. You have a company called Copper Moon that goes and helps put water into areas and then find ways to help the local community. And there's also problems with, that's a subject for a different day, but there's a lot of things going on, but you're not going to hear about it or know about it unless you pay attention. What I have been working on is a way to help people be freelance business owners without having, tens of thousands of dollars invested into it. It's about who you know. If you know a lot of people, why wouldn't they want to help you make some extra money so you could do better for your family rather than giving it to some stranger? Okay, so that's part of what this is about. It's kind of hard to talk about easily because obviously I would like you to be in my group, but you can make your own team, your own group. You can do your own thing. It's not like I'm trying to find ways to help people, because I don't want a society that's jobless and desperate and therefore more prone to criminal activity and, robbing and doing bad things. I mean, if you go on nextdoor.com, which is a community site that is set up for each area, each region of a state, it's all over the place. Anyway, all you see is people saying that, they go out to their garage and there's somebody in there going through all their tools looking for stuff that they can fence, sell. People getting their cars stolen and broken into. That's, the crime rate is going to escalate because what they brought in weren't the best and the brightest. They were the ones that the other nations don't want to feed and take care of. So, to take care of a prisoner is probably about $75,000 a year now, and that's why all these people in Congress are invested in prisons and the affiliated businesses that are connected to prisons, like uniform making and cots and cafeteria stuff. They people in Congress, the ones that are good, I point to. The ones that I'm not sure about, I say it. And the ones that shouldn't be there are going to be taken out of office because people are going to realize that they are not serving the people. You have Hillary Clinton, former First Lady and Secretary of State. she's a corrupt cow. She's never done anything for our country but figure out ways to line her own pockets. Yeah, I said it, Hillary. What are you going to do? Anyway, she's out there saying that Trump supported the Nazis, and they raised their hand like Hitler-Youth. Hitler-Youth was the Democrat Party, and the academia that was behind Hitler. Okay, and when people go to Trump rallies and they raise their hands, it's because they're excited. But when they put the index finger up, what they're saying is, we're going to be number one. We're not going to be under China or India or Iran or some other, barbaric country. We're going to be number one because America is a Christian Judeo country and Judeo-Christian country. And what we built is beautiful, but they're wrecking it up. So we're not going to let that happen. And that's what you need to get into, what we're trying to work on. I'm not saying I'm in charge of it. I'm not even saying that I have all the answers. All I know is that I see subtle things going on that make me have hope. And, hope floats. That's a Harry Connick movie. That movie out. Anyway, I'm telling you this because I was very surprised to find out about the Operation Rainbow.org. I didn't mean to step on their name. I just, I live near Rainbow. And the fella who runs And We Know lives above Rainbow. And my Dutch brother-in-law would come out here and talk to the growers that are here, long ago. And there's a lot of really good people, and there's also a lot of good ministries already and organizations. And they're all, this is not the time to be territorial. This is the time to unite. And one of the things that I was very happy to find out about, and it's very hard for me to keep up with everything because I'm, I don't have a big staff. I'm just doing the best I can here. So I'm trying to also go back to school and learn. So anyway, one of the things I found out about is for kidsandcountry.org, for kidsandcountry.org. I found out about it by watching Real America's, RAV, Real America's Voice. I have a RAV car, that's why I do remember that. And they have their own channel, but they're also like on the Pluto channel on Roku. And it's run by a husband and wife who were teachers, and they've been in California, and they know how bad it is. And I know because I was vice president of the fundraising for a couple of schools and a volunteer. And my twin is a teacher. I'm a librarian, multimedia librarian, tech librarian. And, she's so glad in a way that she's not working now because of her disability. Because she doesn't think she says I probably get sued because I'd be speaking up and trying to say no, that's not the truth what they're telling you. That's not how it went down, history and things like that. So the radical Marxists, communists, leftists, Nazis have taken over every aspect of most countries, governments, and education and local politics as well as state and federal. And that's why Democrat Jimmy Carter created the Department of Education so they could evil history. The Democrat Party is the party of the KKK and Jim Crow. And it's the reason we had a civil war. And it's the reason that we had slavery, because they aren't nice people. They think they are, but they're not. They've proven it by what they've done to Trump and anybody who's a supporter of Trump. So I am not a Nazi, Hillary Clinton, but guess what? You take money from a Nazi, an admitted Nazi, George Soros. He told Steve Croft on 60 Minutes that he helped the Nazis and he enjoyed it. And it was a happy time for him. He's not a Jew. He's a communist atheist, okay? And you took money from him. So did Obama. So you're the Nazi because you take money from Nazis, Nazi collaborators. And George Soros is a Nazi collaborator. Caesarian Jew, whatever he is, he's not a practicing Jew. He's evil, just like you, Hillary. Anyway, so go to that site for kidsandcountry.org, and there's a lot of good tools and information there. Support them. They are doing good things. They are what I call, part of Operation Rainbow, meaning where things get beautiful for everyone, not just a few. And also, they're pushing. Well, just explore their website. We'll talk about that another time. For kidsandcountry.org. All right. So, part of why I have technical issues, and my sister, my twin, will not help me. She thinks that I'm wasting my time. She tells me that, she makes fun of me. She won't even look at the information that, like, LT of And We Know has presented. She says, she listens to only a few. She listens to a lot of things, but she things I'm listening to, she's not, and she thinks I'm being made a fool of, and it's very, very demoralizing to try to. She said she would do the show with me, and then she said she doesn't want to, risk her reputation, and she's still credentialed to teach and everything, and I understand she spent a lot of money and time on her education. She has 2 master's degrees, and one in education, one in media technology, and a couple in bachelor degrees. And the reason I mention that is plus she speaks languages, so does my husband. So, they're not like in the same. They're doing their own thing, and maybe in the future it'll change. But like what I want to do is have a social where you have people get together and do books and do book talks, as well as socials for people to just gather and be together. And I wanted to do it on the at our place, and I'm being told by my husband and my twin, no. So it's very frustrating. And then also that our person that we hired didn't come through, and I thought he would, finish things up, and haven't finished. So, that's another issue. I want to get people to, bid on the jobs that we need to have done here so that the property is ready. We've waited. We asked for quotes. We don't get them. We finally hired someone, and he ends up, flaking out. And so, I've had really bad experiences with contractors, and that's why I'm going to be putting it out there publicly what we need to be done, and I'm going to start asking for bids. And we're trying to build, like Glenn Beck has realtors I trust. He did that after he had such trouble selling his property. Once they would find out that it was Glenn Beck that owned it, he started backing out or nickeling and diming and being jerks. So anyway, he has realtors I trust, real estate agents I trust, and that is to help people not make an error on who they use for selling their property. And so I'm going to be doing that too. I'm going to be trying to get together, construction people with trades, people who are, ready builders, ready, people who are good HVAC and plumbers. And Mike Rowe of MikeRoweWorks.org, he has a foundation. He's got that going already. But, we need to get them so that we can get this property presentable for what I think is the right thing to do with it. And, that's a whole other story for another day. I'm going to go over to another show to finish this up because I'm out of time. I haven't wanted to buy a premium membership because frankly, I was under such cyber attack. I was like, why would I want to pay to be on a show that, I can't hear anyway? So my point is that I'm going to be going over to the studio over at Incircle Group, which is blogtalkradio.com, Incircle, and finishing this show up over there because I'm out of time for today. And if I don't get cyber attacked, I'd be happy to, have a fancy studio with fancy equipment. My dog Beauregard, not Beauregard, that's my other collie, ate my 2 sets that I bought. One time he ate the ear things, and then second time he ate the microphone. So I really would like to have a better studio and upgrade again like I have been in the past. But there's no sense doing that if I'm going to get all this cyber attacks going on. So we'll see. But I'm going to go over to the other studio over at blogtalkradio.com, Incircle, and I'll finish up what I wanted to tell you over there. So I'm going to sign off, and I hope to hear you or talk to you in a few minutes, or probably more like 10 minutes over the other one. I wanted to say that I understand if someone doesn't want to, a lot of people don't want to ask their friends and family for business. But if, just like if you say somebody who's a great mechanic, you're going to refer them, right? You're going to tell your friends about that mechanic. Well, or, somebody who does great massages or is a great hairdresser, whatever it is, that's what's really beautiful about what's going on with this, I call it the Marketplace Alliance. Well, if you become a member, which you can do for a limited time at no cost, normally it's $20, $19, but it's a big company that's been around since the 90s, 80s, for a long time, and because they've grown so big and they're international, but they're based in America, they're able to get other tailors and businesses to offer incentives. So that's really great because right now we all need to save some money. I'm almost out of time. Check me out over at blogtalkradio.com, Incircle. I'm going to put this show out. Hopefully it's not under cyber attack. And then I'll explain a little bit more about what's going on, I think. All right. See you over at the other platform, Incircle.